Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. I'm talking about Love is Blind, episode number 10 from season 6. If you're new to the channel, there's a lot of reviews. We have some great reviews, myself and Jack, my wife. We do reviews on reality shows, Love is Blind, Ready to Love, Married at First Sight. Hey, but again, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Let's get started, right? Started on Love is Blind. We down to the end of this thing, getting close to the end of Love is Blind. Here we go. We open up the scene. We see Laura and Jimmy and Jeremy still discussing the events that happened the night before, about him staying out until about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning with Sarah. And he keeps saying that he didn't do anything, that there was nothing going on, that he was just sitting there talking. It doesn't matter. I think he doesn't get it. It doesn't matter if anything was wrong. It doesn't matter if you slept with her or not. It's the optics of the matter, right? It's the thing that makes it difficult. It's the thing that it was disrespectful to your wife. It was disrespectful to her as a woman, the woman that you engaged with. It was just totally disrespectful that even if you saw this lady at a club, that you decided to hang out with her till 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning and you did not go home. If roles were reversed, Laura had hung out with insert guy, how would he have felt? I think sometimes in this situation, Jeremy does not flip sometimes you got to put yourself in other person's shoes. And again, the way that he comes off is like, okay, I did it. I apologize, but I don't care. It's so smug, is right. It's so entitled that it makes you even madder looking at the situation. Later on, Jeremy discusses the situation with his mom. He meets up with his mother, I think at a dog park, it looks like. He explains to his mom the situation as they have a conversation. And his mom even agrees with Sarah, right? Agrees with Laura that, this situation was totally wrong, right? It was where Jeremy says this. Jeremy says, it was a part of it. He was part of a love triangle in the Love is Blind process. He tells his mom that it was a girl named Sarah. He added that he dropped Sarah off at the house after meeting with the boys, that he met with the boys and that he ended up dropping Sarah off at the house. He also agreed that Laura's suspicion about the situation validated his life. He realized that, you know what, I kind of was wrong, but I don't see me being wrong. I don't get it, right? He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand it. His mom agrees with Laura, saying the situation was complicated, the situation was wrong. He didn't realize that he was going to lose a potential. His quote, I didn't realize I was going to lose a potential fiance over this. What did you think was going to happen, right? Y'all had the conversation. She already DM'd you, so you had that conversation. Sometimes I think these guys are too honest. I mean, it's understandable being honest and upright, right? The good book says there's all things are lawful but not expedient. You didn't have to tell her about the DM. You showed it to her, boom, whatever the case may be. This situation, you're wrong, right? Jeremy is totally wrong about the whole Sarah Ann situation. Again, you hung out with her till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Then you lied about it. Then you try to cover it up. Then you try to send a message saying, send your location to your wife so she would think that you're there. It is totally bad, right? It is a bad situation. So it's not working out. Their marriage is done. Okay, they're done. All right. Then we see Jimmy and Chelsea, right? Jimmy and Chelsea end up meeting Jimmy's parents, right? Man, his parents are a hoot, right? His parents are hilarious. His parents, they're funny. Him and his family, they sat down and have dinner, lunch, I believe is lunch. They all had a conversation about Jimmy and Chelsea's future, right? How the future looked with them, and how their conflicts and arguments only bring them closer. It's okay to have conflicts and arguments, right? But when you keep having conflicts and arguments over the same exact thing over and over again, that's a problem. And the conflicts and arguments come because of Chelsea's insecurity. She's very insecure about Jimmy. She's insecure about the Jessica situation. She's insecure about Jimmy's friends. She's so insecure about how things are going to transpire with them that it creates the arguments. It creates a space for them to have that gap, right? Chelsea spoke about she felt great getting engaged to Jimmy, right? She said she's so ready to share her life with him, right? She wants to share her life with him. She wants to settle down with him, right? She's in her career. He's in his career. He's having fun about his business. He's making money, making moves. She's happy that Jimmy's doing all the things that she asked for. It is just the fact that um, she doesn't trust him in that sense. Her insecurities. Once they get to the house, this is where again, it's always every episode, right? It seems like the everything is doing fine. They're on the top of the hill of the roller coaster, and it's like a roller coaster, and it just takes you down. Well, it just takes Jimmy and Chelsea down. After a great moment, you can guarantee that they're gonna have a bad moment. Good moment, bad moment. Good moment, bad moment. Good moment, bad moment. That's what Chelsea and Jimmy, what their relationship is like a roller coaster ride. Once they get home, Jimmy and Jimmy told Chelsea that he was happy because he had that she finally met his parents, right? But the conversation takes a turn for the worse. It escalates when you see Chelsea ask Jimmy where he been the previous night, like where you been, where you hanging out at. Jimmy told her, "Look, I hung out for a friend just for like an hour and a half. Like I hung out and got a drink for like an hour and a half, and hung out with a friend out for a friend's birthday. I didn't do anything. I was out there." She thought he met up with Jess. He's like, "Yo, I didn't meet up with Jess. Like, why would I meet up with Jess? Me and Jess didn't have a conversation. I have not met Jess." Again, her insecurities, her drunk again, because she's drinking. And I think I mentioned in the last video, every time she drinks, it brings up her insecurities come out even more. She needs to stop drinking. Leave the liquid courage alone. Leave it alone. She gets this. So she started making insinuations. She started making accusations. She started accusing him of cheating. She had Jess. She accused him of meeting up one of the female friends who had hooked up with. Jimmy noted, like, "Look, I don't want to do this, right? You overstepped my boundaries. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this with you. I'm not want to argue." He hops up and leaves, but then she keeps chasing him. She crying and she follow him again. He's brushing his teeth. She chasing him again. He's like, "Look, I told you this in confidence. Yes, I had slept with one of my friends. Yes, we hooked up. It was only one time." Well, bro, I personally would have never told. It would have been between two people, me, her, and God, right? Wouldn't have said that we hooked up. Wouldn't have said that we slept with each other. And especially when I have a woman who has insecurities, I would have never told her off camera. I would have never embarrassed her. And that's what Jimmy, like, "You're embarrassing her. I told you off camera that we slept together, that we hooked up, and I don't want to put her business out there. I don't want to embarrass her." But Chelsea didn't care. They went into it. She went into it even more. At the end of the day, he like, "You crossed the boundaries, right? You crossed boundaries. I don't want this." The two talk it out, and Chelsea apologized for not trusting Jimmy. However, he already began to doubt the decision to get married. He said, "I don't want to get married to you. I don't want to marry you. Just leave me be. Marriage is not an option. I don't want to get married." She breaks down and crying again, like, dude, no dude wants to constantly be fighting in a relationship, in a marriage. No dude doesn't want to be trusted. He can't go to the grocery store without being trusted. Can't go to the bathroom without being trusted. Can't go to the bar and hang out with friends for an hour and a half without being trusted. Good gracious. Who wants to be in a relationship like that? Not I, right? Jimmy doesn't want to be in a relationship like that. And Chelsea got to realize that she's setting her own fire. She is destroying her own marriage. She got to understand that she's the one. It's not him. He's been open. He's been too calm for me. We would have went back. Again, I understand he's probably on camera, don't want to raise his voice. The optics, I get it. But at the end of the day, he made the decision like, "Hey, you know what? I think we could do this together." And I'm sitting here like, bruh, it ain't going to change. It's not. I don't care how much y'all say y'all love each other. She's not going to change. This is her insecurity. Unless she gets some healing, get some counseling, she's not going to. Let's just move to Timbuktu. It's not changing. I don't see it changing. You guys let me know. Will Chelsea ever change? Only time will tell, right? Then we see Amy and Johnny. They meet up with Jamie's dad. Amy's dad. And biggest thing is that he gave them the blessing to get married, right? They had a great conversation, really heartfelt conversation. Amy gets emotional when she saw her dad tear up. Her dad started crying. Again, he didn't remember. Her dad didn't like the process. Her dad wanted a traditional wedding, a traditional couples to meet. He wanted her to do everything traditional. But they meet up, and he was like, "You know what? I like this guy. I give you my blessing. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it be." on what it is, right? I give you my blessing to marry my daughter. And that's one of the biggest things that Amy wanted. She just wanted the blessings from her dad to be like, hey, you know what? Um, it's okay. Go marry him. I support you. I'll walk you down the aisle. I'll be there. I'm happy with it. And it caught her by surprise. And I think it was a great moment. Like, there's nothing bad about these two right now, right? These two are moving in the right direction. I think this episode or this one or next one, I'm getting mixed up about they talk about hyphenating the name. He's like, I just want my kids to be named McIntyre. Basically, you can hyphenate your name and do all that. But you know, they're good. They're fine. We see Clay and AD. Clay meets AD's mom, who gives Clay some important advice. She told him, look, to focus on his parents making it 24 years together rather than messy divorce, right? We all know that Clay has an issue with his parents' divorce. He has not been healed from that situation. It is trauma for him, and he has the fear that, guess what? I'm gonna tell you why he has this fear, right? Clay has the same fear that he's gonna mess up because he has the same characteristics of his dad. If you go back to the pod, right? He said, I'm like my dad. I'm suave. I know how to talk to women, and I know how to do things. And so Clay's like, you know what? I'm just like my father. I see the characteristics going inside of me. I see how my dad moves. I see how the things how he's taking spot, and I may move that way. And I don't want to move that way, but I see myself moving that way. I don't want to move that way. And Clay has to realize and understand he's not his father. He's not responsible for his father's mistakes. And just because his father got divorced doesn't mean he's going to get divorced. And I think this is giving Clay cold feet, right? He wants to be with AD, right? He wants to be there with AD, but Clay realized that their parents' divorce and his dad cheating had negatively impacted the way he looks at all his relationships. He looked at all his relationships based off what his father did and what his father had done. And he's like, you know what? I don't want to be like that. And I'm trying everything I can. But these things, I think he keeps seeing things that creep up in his life that gives him a glimpse like, oh, you can be like this. All right. But AD's mom, she was sweet, man. She encouraged him to look at the positive side of his parents' marriage. And that it gives them the moment and that's the moment that they had together, right? Hey, this is something that we can do, right? This is something that me, you, and I mean, not me and you, something that you and AD can do. Look at the positive stuff. Don't worry about all the negative. Don't worry about all the things that happened in the past, but look at the positive things that you take away from marriage. 24 years is a blessing by itself, right? Being with somebody for 24 years is in this day and age, it's an anomaly. Right. So take all the good things that he did. And his mom said that too when she met with AD in the last episode. Look, there's some good things that we did in our marriage for the 23, 24 years that we was married. There was just one thing that happened, that occurred, that broke us. And she couldn't forgive it. And so Clay has to realize that, look, don't self-sabotage. Don't mess up the marriage. Go through with the process. It's going to be okay. If y'all need counseling, get counseling. All right. If you need a therapist, get a therapist. If you need a pastor, get with a pastor. Get people around you that's going to support you, people around you that's going to encourage you, people around you that's going to build you guys up, not to constantly be involved in a marriage, but help him heal from his parents' divorce. He may even need to sit down and talk to his parents and tell them how you feel. Let that baggage out. Finally release himself from the trauma that he feels about his parents being divorced. And that's what's going to help his marriage with AD. Great moment, though, that he shared with AD's mom. And great advice that she was given that she gave Clay and AD. Very good moment together. I like this couple. I think this couple can make it. I think if Clay can get out of his own head, they'll be okay. They work hard. They have fun. They play hard. They enjoy each other's company, and they seem like they have a good support system with both their parents, both their moms are pretty much down to earth. And so we'll see that, right? Then we get to a place, Ben, you start to see all these couples. They go to like a beach house, whatever case may be, and they're getting ready to reunite, and they're getting ready to have a cookout, right? We have a cookout, and we see Trevor, we see Jess, right? Chelsea tells everyone that Trevor is her type of guy that she usually went for, right? She noted that the situation was complicated between her and him. And the two had a brief talk, and they didn't discuss much, but they had a brief talk. And they had a great, good conversation between the two of them. And I thought it was okay. And not like she tried to jump on the Trevor and whatnot. They just had a nice little banter, like, you know what? I chose him, and it was the last minute. At the 23rd hour, 24th hour, I made a decision, right? I made a decision to go with Jimmy. Jeremy's not there yet. I think Clay is still working at this point. He's going to come, and we start seeing a lot of people come. Jess confronted Jimmy, and they decided to have a proper conversation. She decided to have a proper conversation with him. They walk off. I was like, at this point, I was surprised Chelsea ain't hop up and find out what they was talking about. Again, she doesn't show, the liquid courage hadn't kicked in yet, and she may not want to show herself, show out in front of the other women, right? They didn't want to show her insecurities in front of the other girls. Jimmy said he apologized for how he let her, for his behavior, how he led her on. Jess accepted his apology, and she said she's happy for him and Chelsea, right? She's happy for him and Chelsea, and she wishes them the best. Thought the grown girl move, appropriate move. And I thought the conversation was healthy. You can kind of see what Jimmy actually really does like Chelsea. For a minute there, it was touch and go. For a minute there, I wasn't 100% sure. But dude really wants to be with Chelsea. I thought at the beginning, I thought he was trying to convince himself that he wanted to be with her. But now, towards the end of this process, I say he does want to be with Chelsea. And that is episode number 10, man. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, so you don't miss any other reviews. I will be doing episode number 11. So check that out. Again, if you missed any of these reviews on Love is Blind, hit the playlist button, right? Hit the button that will pop above my head and check out all the reviews there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you watch 17 minutes of this video and you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. If you want to get freaky with it, go ahead and join the membership. So we have membership-only discussions. Hey, do all that. Appreciate you. Thanks for rocking with us, and we'll catch you in the next video.